I miss my friend, and I wanted a conversation with my friend. I love you too. Thanks so much for this time.
Are you fucking kidding me? You start fucking crying? You start crying? That's how you respond? No wonder all your fans are crybabies.
Finally, the heel has come back home. And I come back home to a crybaby bitch. I come home to a part-time sellout. What? I come home to some skinny fat blob known as Gunta. That ingen all come for. That ingen all come for. Dum dum da 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 dum ying 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 ying. Oh, cut that crap out! Cut that crap. You know what I'm saying? This is the state that we find ourselves in the WWE, my brothers and sisters. Our world heavyweight champions are both crybaby bitches, my brothers and sisters. You go ahead and you look at CM Punk, and like he's sitting there crying on literally the tribute show of like John Cena, right? Like the tribute segment that they made, like the video back. Oh my God, John Cena's everything that the WWE stands for. And then like you cut to CM Punk, right? And then he's over there like glazing him, and then you cut to Cody Rhodes. He's actually crying, right? And he's cried before, right? He's cried before. Oh my God, I can't give this title to my father, but I give it to my mama. My mama. Shut your mouth, you goofball. You know what I'm saying? And then he's sitting over there, right? Hovering over the apron on like Cena's retirement, and he's over there crying, and he's giving an interview to like Jackie James or whatever the hell her name is, right? And it's like, oh my God, he did it so perfectly. This is all like, bro, is this your moment or what? You know what I'm saying? Like, is this your moment or what? You know what I'm saying? You gave the titles to him. You know what I'm saying? John Cena, he did a little like, corner to corner with the titles. You take the belts and you take your jabroni asses backstage and you shut the hell up. You damn clip farming buffoon, bro, alright? This is the problem that I have with the WWE today. Everybody, bro, acknowledges the fact that what once was can never be again. You know what I'm saying? Somebody like John Cena, somebody like the People's Champ, the Brahma Bull, the final boss. We cannot repeat stuff like that again, right? And that is why only 2-3 years ago, we had literally Stone Cold Steve Austin come out of retirement and whoop on Kevin Owens, right? Kevin Owens, he's such an athlete, bro. Have you ever seen Kevin Owens move around in that ring? Oh my God. He's like 5'10" with a pop belly and like fucking pimples in his underarms. You know what I'm saying? Little boiling cysts in his damn armpits, but he can do a swanton bomb, and he wears a singlet so his ass crack doesn't show. Bro, are you kidding me, bro? Like, literally, this is what we're dealing with today. Okay, so, this is what really prompted me to make this video, okay? Recently, Bret the Hitman Hart, he released his audiobook that he, like, narrated himself, about, like, 25 hours of, like, an audiobook. He goes over, like, his, like, book that he once wrote, like, my real world and the circus world of, like, wrestling or something like that, right? And I'm listening to it, I'm, like, 15 hours in, I'm like, damn, man, like, this is, like, like, this is what wrestling is, my brothers and sisters. Honor, integrity, kayfabe. Like, the thing is this, right? We all know wrestling is fake. And the problem is back then, right? Everybody would die to keep it alive. And the problem is this, right? Even people back then, they all knew that the people knew that it was fake, right? They weren't fooling anybody when they were keeping kayfabe alive. But what they were doing is they were keeping their image alive, right? Do you not think people like The Rock came out of that same like era, right? Why is it that The Rock came out of the same era as Bret Hart, and he's still today the biggest star in the WWE, right? You know what I'm saying? Second to none. Maybe John Cena, right? But why do you think that is? He has portrayed this image of, I'm big, I'm strong, I'm charismatic, I'm entertaining, I'm this, I'm that. But today, right, you will have people like Sami Zayn pull up, right? Skinny, fat, flabby. You will have Kevin Owens show up. You will have Gunther show up. You will have, who else, man? Like, who else is a bum, bro? Big back Brunson Greed. You will have all of these bums come out, right? Solo Sikoa, for example, right? And you will have all of these people come out and be like, all right, we all know wrestling is fake, guys. We all know it's this. We all know it's that. WWE unreal. Kayfabe is that, blah, blah. And the only thing that this business ever truly ran on was a good match. A good match? A good match? When is the last time anybody sat down and said, bro, you know this feud was so bad, but their match was amazing, bro. This match saved this feud. Bro, I do not remember an entire match beginning to end. What I do remember is high spots, right? Iconic moments that happened in the ring. I remember this, I remember that, but I cannot remember the last time Daniel Bryan had a match from beginning to end and he was doing hard style and running knees and like turnbuckle tosses and like, you know what I'm saying, actually punching people for real and this and that. And, oh my god, the indie style. This is awesome. Fight forever. Bro, this is the problem with the WWE, okay? It is too soft. I mean, I'll also make a video about like it being too fat and like compare like what was back then to what is today. But my brothers and sisters, we have to focus on what the WWE is like today. Too soft. All right. We've covered the mentality of today's wrestlers, right? You know, Kayfabe is dead. All they really care about is a good match. It doesn't matter if I come in at 5'10". I don't know. The heel's advocate is 5'11", my brothers and sisters. You know what I'm saying? I'm not over here like some 6'5", like fucking super giant, right? But nonetheless, I do acknowledge what is visually the thing that got us into wrestling. It isn't female wrestling. It isn't the idea that, oh my god, now finally, we have 3 hours of WWE SmackDown and 1.5 hours will go to the men and the other 1.5 will go to the females. Finally, this is what made wrestling great. We will have Fight Forever. This is awesome. No, my brothers and sisters, we all know. Look, you and I, we both know, right? The heel's advocate and the heel's advocate's advocates. You and I both know, my brothers and sisters, this was never what wrestling was all about. We are bigger than that. We are smarter than that. All right. We're not going to go to freaking Page and, you know, like line up at WrestleCon and take pictures where we're like huggered behind her, you know what I'm saying, with like a fucking double chin and like a big fat fucking belly and we look disgusting. We don't do that. We know what wrestling is all about. It is all about looking real, looking legit, wrestling legit. And why did I mention Bret Hart? Not only because he kept kayfabe alive or like he tried to be real with this business, but his matches. I can go back and, for example, my favorite match, you know, one of my favorite matches is definitely that like double turn match with Steve Austin. Bret Hart against Steve Austin, double turn, bro. That match, it was hard hitting. It was snug. Everything looked for real. And nowadays, right, you go on WWE programming. Of course, I love new talent. Javon Evans, great. But let me tell you this. What is, you know, on the visual level, the difference between somebody like Carmelo Hayes, Javon Evans, or another like, you know, like type of guy that we have today roaming around on SmackDown or Raw? I mean, they all do the frog splash. They all do the springboard. They all do the swanton. It's always the same character, right? Back in the day, for better or worse, some gimmicks were goofy, right? We had the doctor, and then we had the lawyer, and then we had the sergeant, and then we had the Iron Sheik, and then, like everything was so crazy to the point where like, okay, everybody's clearly different from one another. But today, are they really that different? No. Why? Because they're too soft, bro. They're too soft. They don't want to commit. They don't want to make the necessary changes to their appearance. Are you kidding me? Sami Zayn has been looking the same for the last 20 years. And that is not a compliment. It would be a compliment if I was saying, look, man, The Rock has been looking the same for the last 10, 15 years, which is not true. The Rock at WrestleMania 40 came in his biggest, baddest shape ever at 52 years old. And then we had the World Heavyweight Champion Gunther, who still looks like a skinny fat bastard, bro. Are you kidding me? Oh, but the heel's advocate, we don't have steroids anymore. Steroids, this steroid. Come on, my brothers and sisters. It was never about steroids, man. It was never about it. And I'm saying, of course, it helps. Right? It helps. But the reality is, the reason why the WWE had to crack down on these, like, you know, wellness policies is because of these damn wrestlers were overworked, right? They were overworked. They would wrestle 4 times a week, 3 times a week. You know what I'm saying? Even Maven said it. Like, Maven had like a clip going around where he was like, look, we used to have 2 tapings a week and then 1 live show. Bruh, that's crazy. Today, they only have to show up to SmackDown, right? And these days, bro, they will literally have pre-tapes, right? So they will have to come out on SmackDown, they will do the live show, and then they will go off there, and then they will tape next week's. So they really only show up once a week, and sometimes they have to show up once, like in 2 weeks. Come on, right? What the hell is that? And in that meantime, okay, you're not wrestling, you're not on the road, you can't go hit to the gym. You know what I'm saying? You can't get in shape. You can't take L-carnitine. You can't dial it in. You know what I'm saying? You can't take like this supplement or that supplement. I'm not even saying like, you got to hop on like, exogenous hormones or whatever, bro. But like I'm saying like at least get lean, right? The thing is this, when the wellness policy kicked in, what did we go to? Like, what did we go to what exactly, right? We went from Hulk Hogan, the Ultimate Warrior, the biggest and the baddest, and then the wellness policy kicks in, and then we still go to like very athletic, very muscular looking guys like Shawn Michaels, Bret Hart, right? That is what we went to, Eddie Guerrero. Obviously, the thing is this, right? When you are able to take these like PEDs for such a long time, your body actually shuts down the production, and so then you're able to hop on TRT or like HGH, right? And when that happens, boom, you're back in top prime form. I mean, have you not noticed how odd it is that today's wrestlers, as soon as they hit like a certain age, right, like 44, 45 years old, suddenly the entire careers, they've been fat, skinny fat, and flabby, then they're jacked? Look at Edge. His entire career in WWE, right? Especially when he was like world heavyweight champion. Bro, he was not in shape. And then he retires, he comes back, and then he's jacked. 15 years later, he's jacked? Are you kidding me? Oh, that wasn't like some sort of PEDs, but all of a sudden, the same people that were advocating against it, they were glazing how much of a great shape that Edge has attained. Or even look at AJ Styles, right? AJ Styles, his entire career, he wasn't that jacked, and then boom, suddenly he just like blows up. Why? After a certain age, that natural testosterone levels dip down. They go to the doctor. The doctor says it is healthier for you if we now can inject testosterone to even out your levels, and we can elevate it to like 800 nanograms per deciliter, or maybe 1,000 if we're really pushing it, right? But the same can be applied for Randy Orton, right? Randy Orton, his entire career, he was skinny, and now boom, he just like blows up, and he's like a massive like monster, right? Why do you think that is? Even Brock Lesnar, he came back at WrestlePalooza in crazy shape. We all glaze that, right? So my point is this. Why is it that it's always the old-timers doing that, bro? Why is it the old-timers? If we look at today's big stars, right? We have Obafemi. Obafemi is imposing. 6'3", big, strong, big head. I mean, if you were to compare Obafemi's head next to Cody Rhodes' head, it's like, damn, bro. It's like a damn, like, hunter-gatherer, apex predator to a victim like Cody Rhodes' Crybaby. You know what I'm saying? That is true. But ultimately, Obafemi has a great look. He can make it better by, dialing it in, getting like, to like, maybe 10% body fat. And that's the thing here, right? The Heels Advocate isn't some freaking fitness model, but it's also not the Heels Advocate's job to come out every single week on TV and perform in my underwear. You know what I'm saying? So that is like the level that we have to keep these wrestlers to, right? We have to have a certain standard, and they got to live up to it, bro. And not even to mention that, all right, coming back to the original point here, the fact is they are too soft because they allow it. The WWE allows it today. Under Vince, that wasn't true. Under Triple H, oh my God, bro. Have you guys seen WWE Unreal? Like this one segment between Tiffany Stratton and Charlotte Flair, right? They're going back and forth in the promo. They're kind of missing their lines. And I'm not going to lie, Tiffany Stratton made her match against Charlotte pretty important. In my opinion, her match and then John Cena versus Cody Rhodes, those were the two matches I actually look forward to. Nonetheless, in that promo, she goes on and says, look, Charlotte, you're talking about title wins, 3-0, 4-0, all of this, but you're 0-3 in real life and marriages. You damn rag. You're 40 years old and you're trying to still compete here. How about you go build up a family, you dumb ugly? Okay, she didn't say all of that, but that's where it went, okay? And then they walked backstage. Clearly, Tiffany Stratton went off script. And Triple H is like, no, this is not okay. We gotta let Tiffany know that this is not okay. And then like Tiffany goes, well, backstage, and then like, Triple H confronts like, no, we can't do that. Charlotte, come here, blah, blah, blah. And they're talking. And it's like, bro, first of all, that segment was good. That lead up to WrestleMania was good. I really bought into like the fact that she did like a shoot style like promo. And, obviously that match at WrestleMania was entertaining. She got over, boom, everything was cool. But then I look at that WWE Unreal tape, I'm like, damn, bro, even that was like immediately like covered over and like, like whatever. It's like, come on, bro. Are you kidding me? That is what Triple H does. Immediately, like, put the fire on, like put water on the fire and like try and dim it. And it's like, bro, isn't exactly one of the biggest storylines of all time under WWE Lita and Edge versus Matt Hardy? A real life breakup. And what did Vince McMahon do? He didn't say, Matt, Lita, you're a damn whore, man. Like, Lita, you're you're tripping, Lita. Like, how dare you betray your like longtime boyfriend for Edge? For that type of like unloyalty, I gotta fire you, right? He didn't do that. He said, Lita, I love it. I love you're such a freaking skank. I love it, Lita. Oh man, Lita, we're gonna make so much money off of you, Lita. I just love it. Oh man, you know what I'm saying? That is what Vince McMahon did, and what happened? They had on-screen feuds. They had freaking like Edge and Lita in the middle of the ring. They had a bed, and then they did the deed. Like, you know what I'm saying? I can't go into details. You know what I'm saying? That's what Vince McMahon had him do. And to top it all off, Vince McMahon had Matt Hardy lose. You know what I'm saying? There was not even like justice in the situation, my brothers and sisters. That is what Vince McMahon did. And like, I'm sure there are many more examples like this, but Triple H can't even take a little shoot style interview. Why? Because he wants to like run this like he did NXT. You know, he wants it to be fight forever. This is awesome, like a freaking mark, right? That is the problem here. Triple H never created a star. Triple H never made a big time deal out of anybody. Triple H, for some reason, all of the big stars that Vince McMahon loved and pushed and created, like Drew McIntyre, what's he done with him, right? The first autonomous, legitimate, without Vince McMahon at all, PLE, what was it? It was the Clash at Castle 2023, I believe, right? Roman Reigns, Drew McIntyre. This was the guy, right? This was the guy Vince McMahon built, right? He had him be the chosen one. He had him beat Goldberg. He had him beat Brock Lesnar for the title at WrestleMania. Obviously, it was, in front of an empty arena. But he goes out there and he creates a big star out of him, right? He was fired. He comes back. He's jacked up. Boom. He's the top guy now. Top babyface. Then we have him go in there at Clash at Clash at the Castle. And he gets jobbed out, bro. He gets jobbed out because, like, I believe, like, Solo Sikoa debuted that day. And as if that wasn't enough, right? He gets screwed out of that victory. And the Bloodline walks away with the titles. And then Triple H orders Drew McIntyre to keep, to go back into that ring and sing karaoke with Tyson Fury. Wow. Wow. Right? And how about maybe like Roman Reigns, for example, right? Roman Reigns was clearly like the top guy for Vince McMahon for the last 10 years, arguably so, right? Without a question. And what does Triple H have him do? He has him lose to Big Back, Big Fat, Big Mac, Big Back Bronson Reed, bro. Really? Right? The question becomes, why did he even have to have a match against that guy? If we were going to look at the entire calendar year of 2025, Roman Reigns had literally like one match, and that was at WrestleMania, okay? And then he has a tag match at SummerSlam. Then he beats Big Back Bronson Reed in Paris. Then he loses against him in Australia, right? At like Crown Jewel in a no DQ match. It's like, all right, we all know it's a no DQ match so that like he can get screwed out of the victory. Okay, come on, it's as real as that. And then Triple H has him go out there and like be in the War Games match. And then he's gone again. Bro, is this not like mismanagement? Is this not but Deal's advocate Roman Reigns has like limited amount of like scheduled dates and this. Exactly. That is exactly the reason why he shouldn't be freaking wrestling against Big Back Greed and like what else have you, bro? This entire year is 1 year less that we're going to see from Roman Reigns, right? And we're going to waste it on this? Come on, man. And this is the problem here, right? This is the problem with Triple H. Too soft, too inconsistent, he doesn't know what the hell he's doing. For example, right? Let's talk about CM Punk, for example, here, right? The fact is, how can the roster be hard when Cody Rhodes is a crybaby? But at the same time, how can they be hard when the supposed hardest guy ever, right, in WWE history, the guy that, stood up and was the voice of the voiceless and, he shoved it to corporate blah, 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 CM Punk, right? The guy who cuts the pipe bomb, the guy who is never satisfied, the guy who always goes over and beyond to prove his point and stand behind his words. He goes away from the WWE. He says Hunter is going to take over the creative, the WWE, whatever, and is going to get ran into the ground. Proven. The fact is, the buy one, get one free main event, aka main event night one at WrestleMania, is a fake main event. That is true. But isn't he also the same guy that was bugging at WrestleMania 28, 27, 29, whatever the hell it was, when he wrestled against The Undertaker, and he was supposedly like the world champion or like whatever, right? And he was the co-main event and he didn't like that. He said the real main event is the guy that ends off the show. Right? The last match on the card. If that is not me, I am not the main event. So WWE, Vince, Triple H back then, right? please don't try and come at me with that fake BS. Okay? Don't come at me with that fake BS. I'm not buying it. Fast forward 10 years later, WrestleMania 41 rolls around. It's night 1, and this damn buffoon, right? This damn buffoon, this damn jabroni is literally on camera crying and hugging Triple H and crying in his arms. Oh my God, never forget who you are, Punk. Never forget this. You are always the main event. This guy has never main evented anything in his damn life. When he was even the world champion, he didn't main event anything. John Cena main evented more, and he wasn't even champion. That's the reason why he was so butthurt. But now he goes on these random podcasts and he says, I don't care anymore if I'm the first or the last one. You're a fraud. You are a fraud. You are just soft, bro. What happened to you, bro? I mean, when you came back, when CM Punk came back, that was the moment to have a great reset. That was the moment where we could have all had, oh my God, the moment of reckoning is here. Finally, the real, OG is back, quote unquote, right? He's going to come back in here. He's going to challenge Roman. He's going to do this. He's going to get the WWE title. But no, instead he comes back and he has to wrestle against Seth freaking Rollins. And this guy is happy about it. Are you kidding me? Seth Rollins? I mean, come on, bro. The fact is Seth Rollins is such a non-existence in my mind, on the roster at least, to the point where I didn't even mention him. How do we have, right? We can talk about Cody and Punk being crybabies, but how do we have the World Heavyweight Champion, Seth Rollins, come out every single week in leggings, see-through skirts, see-through shirts, and carnival costumes and high heels, and being freaking fruity, bro? Is this supposed to be legit? I mean, how can anybody that goes to these shows look at Seth Rollins and say, wow, this is legit? That is the point. You can't say, oh, but the heel's advocate. It's not about being legit. You're so old time, bro. All you want to see is 6'4", 6'5", 205 pound, single digit body fat, muscular bodybuilders go at it. Yeah, duh. First of all, lol. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, you know what I'm saying? But other than that, the reality is, the reason why I wanted that is because those individuals in the ring would actually portray the fact that they could whoop your ass, right? I cannot go to Brock Lesnar and think, man, I can whoop your ass, bro. No. You know what I'm saying? He'd probably break me in half, probably. You know what I'm saying? But if I walk up to Sami Zayn or Kevin Owens or Seth Rollins, I'm like, bruh, these guys are just jokes. You know what I'm saying? And that is the guy carrying your, title, carrying the World Heavyweight Championship. It's a joke, right? It's a joke. And then you have Seth Rollins going after CM Punk. They have a feud, and they realize, right? They realized CM Punk coming back to the WWE and immediately getting injured at the Royal Rumble took away the entire steam he had, right? But then pairing him up with a damn cross-dresser isn't going to really put him over either. And so they looked at the situation and thought, damn, bro, I thought this was going to be a big-time deal, but it isn't, right? It isn't. So we got to bring in the Tribal Chief, and there you go. Here is your makeshift main event of WrestleMania Night 1. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't make sense at all, my brothers and sisters. The way everything is today is just a joke, okay? Everybody is too soft. They don't take it serious. It is almost disrespectful. They think because they flip around a few times and, we get the chance of this is awesome, that's what we care about. Nobody cares about Sami Zayn. Nobody cares about Ilya Dragunov. Nobody cares about Carmelo Hayes, Trick Williams, Javon Evans. They don't care about anything. What we need, bro, is to have a great reset. The World Heavyweight Champion has to go away. We gotta only have the World Champion, the Intercontinental Champion, and then tag titles. All right, we gotta create some real competition up in this, man, because this is just becoming a big fat joke. All right. We all have fake titles. This guy's walking around with fake titles, you know what I'm saying? Dominic Mysterio has 2 titles. Chelsea Green has 2 titles, but then she has a title, right? She literally has 2 titles, and immediately as soon as she won those titles, she gets squashed by Jade Cargill. It's what the hell are we even doing here, right? Everybody's too soft. Nobody says anything. They get their paychecks and then they move the hell on. That is the biggest problem here. Even the next big thing, supposedly, Braun Breaker, he's booked or he's touted as the guy that's going to one day main event WrestleMania. And he's supposed to be this unhinged monster. And every time he's on screen or every time he has this little glimpse of being unhinged and uncontrollable and being a freaking monster, which is the way that he should be booked, we immediately have this high BMI ogre, Paul Heyman, breathing down his neck saying, oh my God, now is not the time. Now is not the time. Are you kidding me, Braun Breaker? Why are you even listening, bro? Are you actually the leader of the division or not, bro? You know what I'm saying? Come on, right? You look weak. You turn on Seth Rollins, you walk away with his title. The following week, you come back to Monday Night Raw like a good little boy, and you give that title back to Adam Pearce. Are you kidding me? First of all, you can do two things. You can say shove it to Adam Pearce, you can spear him, you can break him in two, and walk once again away with the World Heavyweight Championship, or simply put, you don't show up. You don't show up to Monday Night Raw. And you just keep the title, you keep posting pictures on Instagram or whatever, right? And you get real heat. That is what you could have done, but you didn't, did he? Right? Even the guy who wrestles like a freak, who was quick, fast, explosive like Braun Breaker, he doesn't even have that edge to him. Because why? He's got to be like contained in his little box. You can't go outside of this little box that Triple H created, right? You can't go out of it and be your own man. God forbid you do that, right? Look at Karrion Kross. He got over himself, immediately buried, right? Like R-Truth. Bring back truth, bring back truth. Oh my God, you know what I'm saying? Big pop, everybody's happy, and then boom, he's back to being a goofball, right? And it's like, one thing I want to talk about as well. Did you notice every single time this thing happens where like there's like this massive like, you know, like fan demand or whatever, all they do, and it started with CM Punk. CM Punk, after the chamber, he comes out on Monday Night Raw, he hops on the table, right? Like the announcer table, and he cuts a promo, right? And I was like, oh my God, this is like so weird. Like instead of the ring, he's on the table. Oh my God, like shoot style, cool, pipe bomb, right? And then he cuts his promo. The Rocker, a bald fraud. I think it was talking about the wrong bald fraud. It should have been Triple H, but nonetheless, he goes out, he talks, Cena, why did you turn heel, blah, blah, and then Seth Rollins comes out. Way to kill his momentum. For example, R-Truth comes out, and he cuts like the last two dreadlocks he has on his freaking bald head, and he's like, oh my God, he's finally like, oh my God, it's so crazy, like, Ron Killings is here. 2 weeks pass by, and he's back to being a goofball. What the hell? And then even recently, we had Nikki Bella come out on the announce table and cut a promo. It's like, oh my God, I am a legend. First of all, you got whooped the entire year. You lost at Evolution. You lost to Becky Lynch. And then you lost to Stephanie Vaquer. You know what I'm saying? And then you have to go out on Monday Night Raw, hop on the announce table and cut a promo as if you were screwed out of anything. You suck, bro. All right? You literally suck. And this is the thing. This is the problem. The WWE is too soft to the point where they think that putting somebody on the announce table is like this, oh my God, it's revolt time. The revolution will not be televised. You know what I'm saying? Come on, man. It all sucks. It's all a goofball. Cody is weak. CM Punk is damn soft. Everybody else is done. John Cena is retired. The last time is over. We're going to go head into 2026, and we're looking at Sami Zayn as one of the like big potential winners of the Royal Rumble. Are you kidding me? Oh my God, I'm going to find the Niebuhr's Bridge, and the Heels Advocate will leave it there. I'm the Heels Advocate. C-Jax, hit my outro, and I'm out.